am I just around a bunch of people that are like not responsible or not independent? I unintentionally hurt people's feelings that I care about on this journey because I wasn't aware, especially coming from the States, holding the marginalized identities I had this perception that, you know, I'm a marginalized person, but that took away from my opportunity to also see my privilege. Hello beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. My name's Ami, my pronouns are he, him, and if you're new to this channel, I talk about my journey as a Black, queer, trans, expat, and world traveler, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. So if you want to go on that journey with me, make sure you go down below and smash that subscribe button. On this video, I'm going to be giving y'all 5 things I wish I knew before moving to Latin America. I first moved abroad in September 2020, and since then I've lived in 5 different countries in Latin America: Ecuador, Colombia, Peru, Costa Rica, and Mexico. All 5 of those countries have given me different insights into what it's like to live in Latin America and different perspectives. So I think it's important to realize that I'm taking my experience from all these different places and bringing it into this video. These are the things I wish I knew culturally about Latin America that I don't think I really learned until living here, but also understanding that these are going to be things that you learn as you go and immerse yourself into any new culture. With that being said, let's get into it. The first thing I wish I knew culturally about Latin America before moving abroad is that directness can come off as rude. I feel like in the US, we have this standard or this it's almost like a personality trait of being straightforward, to the point, very direct. Is seen as respectable, is seen as very positive in the United States. People want to hear what you have to say as fast as you can say it, when you can say it. I think that very much aligns to how things are in the States, tied to capitalism, things like that, because we are very fast paced, but people really value people being straight, direct, and to the point. That's not necessarily always the case in Latin America. From my own experience, I had to learn that sometimes a direct or straightforward way of saying things a lot of times came off as rude or really hurt people's feelings. It took me some time, and also talking to local friends and also friends that were also other expats, to kind of really help me understand that you don't have to say it that way. That's not how people talk all the time. So a lot of times in Latin America, people are very kind, people are very loving in Latin America, something that I love about living here. But the way they talk is sometimes a little bit, here's a point, and they kind of talk around it, and then they get to it. And to me at first that was frustrating coming from the US, because I'm like, just tell me what you need, tell me what you want. And I would also do the same thing, as just tell someone what I want, tell them what I need, and it would come off a very brash or very sometimes rude. So I think this is a cultural difference, that not to say that you need to lie or not tell the truth or anything like that, but be more cognizant of that not every culture has this expectation or this standard of being direct, of being straightforward. And it's okay to kind of walk around the point and be a bit kinder around requests and the things that you say to people, because it goes a long way. And here people respect that you put the time into kind of framing what you're going to say before giving it to them, so that it seems like you put time and care into what you're communicating, and then just say the first thing that came to your mind, or like, this is what I gotta say, what do you have to say about it? Just take that consideration when you're in other places. And that's something I wish I knew, because I probably would have avoided, I unintentionally hurt people's feelings that I care about on this journey, because I wasn't aware of the way I was accustomed to doing things was not the way that was done in Latin America. The second thing that I think is really important to know is family really means a lot. Now, this is true in some parts of the US. I think really Southern culture really values family, but I think the nuanced way that I've seen how much family is valued in Latin America is really beautiful. I think in the US, we have this idea that, you know, once you turn 18, your parents kind of send you off and you start building your own life. But I think a lot of times in Latin America, your life will always kind of be very much intertwined with your family in some cases. And I think kind of learning and understanding how much some of my friends and the people I cared about value family would have helped me understand them better and yield better connections with them, instead of just feeling like, why are you so close to your family? Because for me, I just call my mom every couple of days to check in, when other people are like, their family really does mean the world to them. And I think that's a beautiful thing. The third thing that segues in perfectly is, it's normal in Latin America to live with your family after you turn 18 or 19 years old. This is something that I found very interesting, because a lot of my friends in different countries that I've lived in were still living with their families when they were 20, 21, into their 20s. And this is very normal. For me in the States, it's like I said in the last point, it's very normal for you to graduate from high school, either go off to college and go somewhere else, or start building your own life, get your own job, and kind of start building your own foundation. Here, that's not always the case. People really love their families, and a lot of times there's also cultural differences. It's just very real that people are very connected to their families, and other countries there's not as much of a push for you to get out as soon as you turn 18. And people, that doesn't mean that they're not independent. They still take time to work, they still support their family and help out. It's just that they still live with their family. So I wish this is something I learned, because when I first moved abroad, I thought it was weird. I'm like, am I just around a bunch of people that are like not responsible or not independent? When I don't think that is really tied to your independence as much as it is in the States. I've had a lot of friends that still with their families that have their own independence in a lot of ways. And I've also met people that can't wait to move to other families' homes. So whatever the case may be, I think finances, I think family, I think so many things go into this, but just realizing, acknowledging that it's not necessarily an odd or abnormal thing for someone to be living in their family's house after they turn 18. The fourth thing I wish I knew before moving abroad to Latin America is that people really are understanding about you learning a new language. The reason I say this is I had so much stress and anxiety around trying to practice speaking Spanish, and someone gonna judge me, or someone like, I'm not gonna help you, or like, you know, just really had a lot of anxiety around this idea of trying to learn a new language and not knowing how accepted that would be. I have been lovingly surprised by how much people just value people just trying. Just trying and using the words that you learn as you go really goes a long way here in Latin America. People are very understanding that learning a language is hard, because I've also met a lot of friends that are also trying to learn languages themselves, whether that's German or English, whatever the case may be. So there really isn't, I think, as much as it is in the States, and I think that came from a perspective in the States of seeing so many spaces where people are like, you need to learn language, you need to learn English, why don't you learn English? And coming abroad and people just be like, it's okay, está bien, a poco a poco, step by step, you're gonna learn it. So I think I really wish I knew that before, because it really would have relieved a lot of anxiety for me around learning the language, and maybe I would have been more confident to just try it out and really put myself out there. The last thing I wish I really would have understood before moving abroad to Latin America, and I think this applies to everywhere, but really understanding that I am American before I am Black when I'm abroad. Why does this matter? A lot of times I came into Latin America with this idea of like, especially coming from the States, holding the marginalized identities I had this perception that, you know, I'm a marginalized person, but that took away from my opportunity to also see my privilege. The fact that I have a US passport, the fact that I speak English, the fact that I am spending US dollars and have money from the US, all these different things, these parts of me that are from the US really have a lot more of a significance in some spaces than me being Black. It has an impact on how you interact with people and how they view you. And I definitely have had negative experiences with this, but for the most part, it's been me checking my own privilege and realizing that while I am a marginalized person in the United States in many different ways, as a queer person, as a trans person, as a Black person, as all these different things, that can still be true, and I can still hold the privilege that I have being a US citizen, coming into Latin America, coming to spaces that are not as financially, economically booming as the United States, or whatever the case may be. So I think that's something I really wish I took into it and digested before moving abroad, because I had a lot of tussle within myself of like, okay, but which one is it? Am I marginalized or am I privileged? But really having to understand it's both. When I walk on US soil, I am very marginalized in a lot of ways, but when I walk into Colombia or Ecuador or whatever country, a lot of different countries in the world, I am Black and things like that, but I'm American first, and that holds some privilege. So I think that's something that is really important to acknowledge, and it also, that acknowledgement helps me better connect to local people because I'm checking myself at the door before I interact. So there we have it. Those are the 5 things I wish I knew before moving abroad to Latin America. If this video gave you some value, make sure you go down below and you hit that like button. If you want to continue on this journey with me abroad, make sure you smash that subscribe button down below. I would love to hear your insights if there's things that you wish you knew, how these things landed for you, if anything resonated. Go ahead and put those down below in the comments. I love talking to y'all down there. With that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.